Hey everybody, thought I'd start off this little video with my daughter and myself. You want to say hi to everybody, or you want to just play around? What do you think? All those videos where you heard music and little woo in the background, this is her. It's Callie. She turned 7 months old, and what's today? Today's the 19th, 2 days. The video I'm about to show you is the fun we could have with the enzyme amylase. See, she's excited. So I'm going to break it down to you in a simple way. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down the simple uses of beta and alpha amylase. When we mash in, what we're doing is we're introducing hot water at a certain temperature to create a sugary solution. It helps bring out all the enzymes that are within the grains that are mixed in with all the starches and stuff. For a complex version of this, you could check out, just Google John Palmer and his alpha beta amylase stuff. You can pull up a website. He's got tons of scientific information, but I'm going to break it down simple. So here we go. Are you ready? Okay. So basically, when we mash in, we are pulling out all of these long strands of sugar and starches, so complex that it's not she's really excited. They're not fermentable at all. So how do we break it down? How do we make it so that our yeast will love this food? Simple. You bring it up to a certain temperature to introduce your beta amylase and your alpha amylase. Beta amylase will actually come into play as soon as you hit a temperature of around 130, 135, but it's most effective when you get above 145 to what you want to do, really. You've got your light body, you got your medium body, and you got your full body. That is all having to do with your sugars and how many you leave behind. Your beta is going to come along and break up this huge strand of sugar and starch, break it into simple stuff. Your alpha will come along and just nibble away at this thing. It will leave behind giant pieces, which will then be the complex sugars that will add to the sweetness and heavy body. Here we have our temperature range of anywhere between 140 to 150, and that is where Mr. Beta amylase comes into play. Mr. Beta amylase came along and just chewed the crap out of that sugar and starch, broke it down into very simple pieces of sugar for our yeast to come along and eat. This is what a light body beer would be made up of. Simple sugars primarily. Very little complex. Here, if it makes you feel any better, I'll just throw on one strand, but there really shouldn't be that much in there. This is, my daughter is really excited about this because I raided Mommy's craft room to get all this stuff. We got single maltose sugar units here that our yeast will love and will give you that nice light body. So now we've got a medium body. This is when Mr. Beta amylase and Mr. Alpha amylase have come along and they've both nibbled on the long strand of starch. She's still excited about this. What can I say? And what you get left behind is you get the complex sugars, which are not fermentable, with the simple single unit maltose. And together, when combined, give you a medium-bodied beer. You get a combination of both worlds. Now we've moved up the temperature to closer to 159 to 160. We've mashed in, we want a full-body beer. So what we're doing is primarily using Mr. Alpha. Mr. Alpha comes along and just nibbles away at that complex sugar, starch, and just gives us all these little pieces of complex sugars. Occasionally, beta will still be active and will help break down some of that into simple sugars. which will give us our fermentables. But pretty much what you're going to have left behind is all this complex sugar left behind, which will then add to your heavy body and sweetness. So there you have the simple breakdown of the 3 different types of body for a beer and the uses of beta and alpha amylase and when they're most active. Try to experiment with your mashes. That's the beauty of home brewing. Every time it can be different. It just depends on what temperature you want it to be at and what you want it to feel like when you drink it. So Graham from the Homebrew Network, I thank you. My daughter thanks you for watching this video because she was really excited about it. Go to the Homebrew Network on Facebook, check it out, www.thehomebrewNetwork.com. She's even excited about that website. Tips, tricks, recipes, you name it. Thanks, guys.